Hey everyone, welcome back to another SEO Talk Spaces session. It's episode 136. So good to be back and starting the week with SEO Talk audio conversations. I'm Parth. As always, I have been joined with our co-founder Malhar Barai, and we are thrilled to have you all if you are attending it right now or if you're listening to the recorded version. So, what if I told you your next customer might never see your website, maybe never read your product page, or never even know who your competitors are because AI already made the decision for them? So, it's not a sci fi movie script, but it's AI agents influenced in multiple different sequential order. So, welcome to today's episode. We call it AI decision layer, which is kind of an invisible battleground where AI systems decide which brands get recommended, trusted, and transacted with before a human even enters the picture. So in today's session, we'll break down five big themes, and we'll get started right away. Uh, get prepared with your questions and hot takes. Do join us on the panel, and we'll be more than happy to have you. Over to you, Malar bhai.
All right. No, superb. Thank you. Lovely topic. And again, welcome back to episode 136. Uh, Absolutely, AI is going to change the face of online commerce. The entire human led journey has turned into a more AI led decision process. And now, AI agents can compare options, evaluate trade offs, probably complete the purchase also on behalf of you. And the bigger question is not whether this will happen, but who benefits when AI becomes the buyer. So we'll talk about this and much more on the conversation today. And there goes my first question. 20 years we optimize sites for human interactions. And now AI engines are deciding for you what brands to recommend, what to compare, where to buy before you as a customer even see the option. That's a decision layer. How do you explain that entire process in a simpler language? Parth.
Yes. Uh, Very interesting topic and a great start to the session. I would say it's kind of an invisible filtering stage where eh, the LLMs kind of go ahead and evaluates what brand to trust, what's the relevance and data quality. And based on all of these decisions, it will shortlist a brand before even a human searches. So to give an example, if someone prompts maybe Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT um, that hey, find me a running shoe under 10,000 rupees, size 9, that ship before Thursday with easy returns. Now, this particular prompt will be kind of divided into structured parameters, which can query into product feeds, kind of get back with multiple options. And then it goes ahead probably and then finds out the multiple options with a lot of messy data And again, it goes one level beyond that and find the written policies and then gives us the final answer. So this is going to be the future of agentic commerce in my opinion. But we have Shweta on the panel and Isha, Anirudh, Vishal, please feel free to join us.
Hi. So I am not sure about, I have not done this like practice the e-commerce thing, but I have run bots on different websites and I have been doing this using this method for my outreach. So the bots goes to websites, scrape the content, get me the data, collate it in an Excel sheet and provide me the list that what I want. I have gone to this process using Claude Cowork and using N10 both. But yes, what it when it comes to shopping and when it comes to buying, I think we I can see four different winners like consumer, trusted brands, platform controlling the interface, and the companies controlling the payment for like Stripe or Visa. So if the website has all these four different channels integrated together, bots can come integrate, use the data, and then go for the final, like confirm the product and go for the final payment. So integration of these products, these channels is important. And if the site has these, then definitely bots can go ahead and book, for example, book a movie, book a flight tickets. They can definitely do that. Yeah, that was my take.
Perfect. The interesting part is the decision layer that you mentioned, and probably it is doing the grunt work on behalf of you before cornering the results. But I go on the other side. Are people really prompting this? Is there a shift in the buying behavior already? Or are we preempting and saying, okay, this could be the potential buying behavior and let us get ready? The other part of it is it certain industry verticals only or certain categories only where we are probably seeing the shift? Or this could be something which could be applied to larger e-commerce as an industry.
I
Yeah,
think,
Path?
yeah, I think so. With the current data and stats available, if we look at the behavioral shift, it's kind of majorly concentrated in retail, travel, and kind of routine purchases. But emotional purchases are still kind of there's a lot of human dependency there. So um, we don't see any data around anyone letting an AI agent pick their engagement ring. But at the same time, a lot of household purchases, maybe subscriptions, gifts, these are the potential categories where we can see early behavioral shifts.
Okay. So, Parth, again, if you may recollect, we had uh, this conversation with a person called Laurent Borelli probably a year or two back. And at that point of time, he had mentioned that in future, most of the sites will just have one interface where you can ask a query. Do you think that probably could become reality much faster now? Or Will it be more people still going to LLMs to ask something?
With the uh, current setup, I I don't think so. So obviously, your Amazon account or your Zomato or your Blinkit will have details about your preferred payment mode. Will have details about your um, delivery address locations. Will have details about your past purchases. For if you're using Amazon for last 10 years, you will have that for 10 years. But it will still not have context about your health, about your um, other facets of your life, which you might have asked to your favorite tool, whether it's ChatGPT, you've been using it for last 3 years, or Claude for last 6 to 12 months. I think so. These e-commerce platforms would always want customers to target customers to search with a single chat option on their platform to possibly go ahead and collect more and more data, train their models. But currently, the moat lies within everyone's respective favorite LLM tools. So at this point in time, it's still ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Perplexity or any of the favorite tool that you've been using for the longest period of time, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 3.5 years.
Okay, that brings to one interesting theory. Again, I'm just thinking aloud here. Will e-commerce or the larger e-commerce platforms start having their own MCPs which you can connect to LLMs and just do all kind of activities? Because that will probably also bring them certain kind of traffic or an agent to run using their own services rather than going to different places using co-work or some other ways to do it. Is I know I'm getting little technical here, but just thinking aloud.
No, that's a good follow up one. From what I think, they they have built a very smart engine on their own platform. Like if we go to Amazon, and if you're searching a product, it will always show us that you purchased this item 6 months ago as well. We'll get a lot of integrated data into it, and a lot of recommendations, a lot of combos, a lot of um, subscription offers. A lot many things have been optimized for platform specific. But now with the agentic commerce interface, I'm not sure how is this going to pan out in near future. But if I remember, then we had a conversation a couple of months back where each of these intelligence layer, whether it's Gemini or Claude, they'll have exclusive partnerships. So I think so. Walmart had an exclusive partnership with. So I'm not sure which platform, but yeah, each of these platforms will have exclusive partnership with a particular platform, and then they will have an edge or leverage compared to other players on that particular platform. So now it depends on the user base and daily active users on these platforms, and they'll go ahead and optimize all those smart features which they had optimized on their own platform, but rather on these LLMs, similar products and whatnot. Um, at the same time, you mentioned something around MCP. Yes, I think so. Very soon we'll see these e-commerce platforms will have their add-ons or integrations with popular LLM models, where you can import all of your data from your Amazon account or eBay account or whatever shopping platform. So then it will have all the information about your past purchases, and based on that, it can recommend as well.
प्राइवेसी की तो बैंड बज गई. All right. So with that, I don't know. Can you, Shweta, if you want to add anything, your thoughts? Again, that was a very open-ended question, but happy to hear your perspective also if you want. All right. Okay. I'll wait for your responses later then. But the next one, again, I'm going back on the topic because this is important in terms of we always knew that popular saying which says if you want to if you kill someone and want to be safe, put it on page 2 of Google. So is a similar concept coming in here that if you miss or if your brand is missing on the decision layer, you are losing out probably on a lot of stuff. Is that the concept one should go ahead with? I'm not recommending anyone to kill.
Um, I think so. This To answer to this question, losing at the decision layer, I think so. It matters for business owners to go ahead and understand their audience more than ever before, because um, while we are optimizing for keywords and blue links, uh, like 3 4 years ago, it was just kind of an index, and then the users had to go ahead and do their own research on the page, the written policies, and all the nitty gritties uh, which are required before making a buying decision. But now your prompt, your question says everything. And if you are an a quick commerce or a grocery retail brand, you will need to have all the details about your shipping details, your written policies, and all of that. And if you, for example, if you're into a wedding suite category, no one is going to order for a quick, like it's a custom made, and then it has got a lot of um, detailing into it. So it depends who your target customer is, what is their timeline, how do they start thinking, researching before they order a particular product, what is the overall life cycle. And now, not just kind of getting into the shoes of your target customers and understanding all of this, but at the same time making sure your product description page, your PDPs, have all the details mentioned which an AI machine can read, and have that in their filtering system before they recommend it to the end human user who is kind of chatting with that AI platform. So more you kind of go ahead and add details to your PDPs, that's going to help you. You'll have an edge.
So when you're saying that, is would that also mean that the technical SEO becomes much more important, or your product schemas or whatever relevant schemas that you need to implement? There is no way, or probably don't make it difficult for machine to understand you. Is that what you're saying also?
Absolutely. Now it's not, the technical SEO is shifting at a rapid pace. Um, It's no more about the checklist and setting up your project on XYZ of your favorite platforms or running a screaming for a crawl. It's more about looking into your server logs. So there was a recent case where there were duplicate images being crawled on the CDN, and the crawl budget was exhausted. So we'll have to learn, and we'll have to try and understand how these AI search bots crawl our website. What are the patterns? What are the requests they are kind of hitting on our server? And based on that, we'll have to take the decision what's being crawled, rendered, and whatnot. And based on that, the whole technical SEO game changes. At the same time, what are those actionable control buttons which an agent can identify to take action on your e-commerce website platform that you build? Because that's going to be, if still your details about your product are still hiding behind an accordion where it's JavaScript rendered, and we'll have to expand to get more details into it. So all of that is going to hurt for sure. But we have Hiren, Keyur, Shweta with us on the panel. If you want to add, Vijay has also joined. Hey Vijay, Isha, if you want to join.
Hi, Path. I'm just listening and just grasping everything. This topic is very real, like new to me. So I do not have any insight to share, but I'm just taking everything in, and I might come with something next time.
Hey, no
Hey, hi,
worries.
everyone.
Yeah, Kiran bhai, so good to see you.
Yeah, great. Good to see everyone. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are, this topic is quite, trending last couple of years. People are selling a lot of services, AEO, GEO, and everyone. But I think basic issues still, like technical basic issues still required for sure. And in terms of technical aspects, I think recently I was working with one of my client and they are using Cloudflare example. There are certain boards that are not accessible, Cloudflare has like they automatically block certain AI, So I mean there are certain things, always like changing now. We don't have a checklist as Parth said, right? You need to take a look how different AI platform site your page is, right? It could be Reddit, it could be Quora, it could be any other site. So there is no like a simple checklist like before we do, right? Building certain links, doing on page, right? So dynamic is quite changed right now. You need to think like how you can build more brand mentions for even your brand, even your single brand name without hyperlink. Still, help a lot of ways. Recently, a lot of people are saying about Bing Webmaster tool, using a lot of ChatGPT, using a lot of Bing indexing, right? So you can always do A/B tests, but yeah, you need different actionable items based on your data. Study how your website is grabbing on different AI tools. See your AI visibility, how pages are getting cited, everything, and then just replicates your strategy according to that. So yeah, it's a good learning curve, but it's a good dynamics, right? So I'm seeing that ACU is not dying, it's just expanding, with this kind of a tool. So it's a more opportunity for us. Yeah, so
Definitely
that's just, yeah.
expanding and crazily expanding, I would say. But
Yeah, so it's not dying, I think. Yeah,
yeah, good, good. Complete this.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's just my feedback.
All right. Yeah, Parth, sorry, you're saying something.
No, I think so. We are good. We can. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Good one, but uh, that takes me to the next one. And the way I see it, will agentic commerce reduce uh, the consumer bias or the human bias, but at the same time, could we see an algorithm bias coming in? Should we be careful about that also? Because we know we have seen from our favorite search engine their algorithm changes and suddenly your own strategies change. So do you think that could be a reality going forward where human bias is replaced with algorithm bias? Sorry, Path, if you're speaking, you're on
Yeah.
mute.
Um, I think so. Both are a very different concepts. Human bias and algorithm bias. I think so. Algorithm, for now we don't have uh, any major updates, but we'll soon have updates for these AI models as well, as AI mode becomes the default for all the geographies. But I think so. Algorithm bias will be very. I think so. It's a 0-1 game because it totally depends on the trust a particular brand has gained over a period of time and the authority, the PR that it has got. Currently, some of it can be influenced through digital PR, but going forward, we'll have a lot of matured algorithms out there. So it's not going to be a long term thing. It's currently working probably for a couple of categories, but algorithm bias would be totally dependent on the brand authority, trust, and other social signals across UGC content.
Okay, couple of folks have joined in, so if you want to say something, please go ahead. Yeah, Hiren, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also thinking once agenting commerce and this kind of changes happen, right? So my biggest, I'm thinking about drawback is about data and attribution. What we are measuring right now, it will be totally changed, or maybe we need to adjust a lot of things. Like some conversation will happen without a site visit, right? So it might influencing how performance is measured. I think drawback in the nutshell, probably your analytics, our retargeting pixels, on-site personalization, email capture, all this depend on a landing page, right? So probably customer, I mean, if example this is going to happen, probably about negotiating, like a purchase via your API, and our traditional issue metrics like ranking, CTR, session simply don't capture, in this activity. So you probably, I'm not sure, I'm just thinking, the issue dashboard, while actually how we can gonna calculate after this, if actually this gonna happen, uh, like our core mechanics, right? Our core dashboard. So probably we need to might think differently. Probably Google will, like come with a different idea on that part, but we can't have the same funnel. You know what I mean? SEO traditional funnels. If like both directly purchase for you. So that's a challenging, but I'm just thinking how we're gonna handle it, how we're gonna adjust our reporting, data attribution, everything, right? So I'm just thinking about practical fallout on that part, like revenue visibility might be decoupled like traditional funnel metrics, making it ROI harder, right, to prove our stakeholders. Uh, like we are maintaining two systems, human facing issue, machine facing data APIs and everything. But yeah, it's challenging. So I'm just looking forward at how we can gonna change that perspective. But at the end of the day, we need to show something to our stakeholders, right? So that would be challenging, but yeah, we can definitely overcome.
Man, that was too good. Too good, honestly. And I guess it got every one of us thinking because attribution will be the most difficult thing when because you don't know. when a
Yeah.
human agent is in loop, which agent is in loop, which platform's agent is in loop.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be crazy. Yes, Isha, Anirudh, Vijay, Keyur, over to you guys. Yeah, Parth.
So I think so. It will. So earlier in the days, until 2022, there's only human traffic mostly visiting the website, more than 90%. Um, so everything started from a human visit, which is obviously captured GA4 or whatever analytical tool you use. But now everything starts from the first hit that your server gets. So is it a bot from any of the popular tools? And after those hits, what are the successful uh, web page fetch or renders from those visits? And then what are those actions that these bots have taken which will convert into a successful conversion? In the case of agentic commerce, um, do you have the OKF, Google's OKF, and the agentic resource discovery thing enabled? So even if the agent is visiting your website, does it have enough context on what are the functionalities, what are the actions that an agent can take? So it's going to be step by step, and uh, from those server hits to finally what have been the successful actions. I think so it's going to define, and it's for sure it's going to be in single digit percentage conversions, but that's how it's going to help us understand these bot activities uh, along with those numbers from across the different sources. But what I'm thinking beyond this is, there'll be categories, there'll be businesses where we'll still have more human visitors than, and then those brands will kind of probably they will have an edge or not. It can only, like, time can only say that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting times ahead, where we go ahead and optimize, and then we'll compare the success between human visits and agentic visits, the cost between both of those, because those agentic visits to our websites are going to increase our server uh, capabilities all in all. So a lot of second order effects, a lot of second order uh, kind of thought process will lead into how business owners kind of approach. But yeah, if anyone else has any other points to add, please do. Yeah, yes, Vijay.
Yeah, to add one more point, it passed by you mentioned okay Google. We already know current LLMs are consuming so much tokens and not efficient to run JavaScript and everything. So Google has been also working on WebMCP. If you're aware of WebMCP, it's uh, protocol developed by Google itself, web model context protocol. So how it works in backend, we can actually set up few structured data. So agent can directly uh, uh, like, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, I thought my connection is. Yeah. So what I was just saying, this agentic LLMs or agentic can directly code. For example, let's say Zomato. If there is like so many filters in front end UI, and if I'm on desktop and I'm saying I want best Gujarati food from XYZ restaurant under XYZ rupees, how LLMs can understand? It will take like few clicks and then screenshots, then again get back to some other agents. But using WebMCP, we can actually interact with data using structured API way. So it will also reduce the like number of tokens which we just need to cross check what is available, what is filter for filter out restaurants. This is how WebMCP comes in picture for agentic void. It's totally new. I've been trying to learn and applying for some of my clients. And if there is some next steps, for example, if you are searching best cheapest SEO tool, you have observe Google is now asking some narrow down like conversation question. For example, I search best cheapest SEO tools. It will ask to help you narrow down best choice. Can you please confirm what is your need, or do you have any budget in your mind? It's like this how Google is making more like use case to use more and more AI mode or AI overview. Like this is how WebMCP and other stuff will uh, get more attention in upcoming months. I guess, and we can consider this as a technical SEO, because before we were just working for ranking on a Google. Now our time is, if someone is like, this is agentic era, how we can uh, optimize our web page in a manner that any LLMs can easily parse our data in like really few tokens and easily understand what our page front end is talking about from our backend using WebMCP. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think Parth and you both at some point talked about the first order effect also. But if I go on the other side of it, I'll also say, what about trust? The trust gap. And what I mean by that is, are the consumers, are we as a consumers ready for the next step? Because at this point of time, maybe you are comfortable doing a discovery. How comfortable is today's consumer also to do a transaction? Because that last step will determine the success of entire agentic commerce. Are we comfortable to say, hey ChatGPT, find me a shoe less than 10,000 rupees, which is good for running, and go ahead and purchase it? Are we okay to do that? Yeah, Isha.
Hi, Malhar. So to answer to your current question, I would say that as a consumer, we need to understand that it's not about are we going to the chat GPT and asking this. Even if we go on Google and if we are putting up something, the agents or the websites or the tools are right now ensuring that you are being more conversational and not just search driven. So that is why they themselves are making it more of an agentic responses. So because what I feel in this whole strategy is like, so a couple of points which I want to mention from the earlier perspective as well. Point number one, there right now I think hardly there are 1 or 2% of websites which are actually completely end to end agentic commerce, I would say. But still there are almost 40-50% of websites which are right now uh, which have right now started adapting to agentic commerce. And when we talk about agentic commerce or even all of these aspects, it's not just about you know getting yourself in ChatGPT or responding in Google. It is basically to ensure that you are, so there are there is, you need to divide it into a very different way. Like you need, so I think someone earlier also mentioned that the playbook or the structure has to be different. And the way I think or I make this in a way is that we need to have our websites, or rather our products, made in a way that first we are ensuring that we are taking care of the discovery part. Like if anyone is searching for our brand, if anyone is searching for our inventories, our, like Path mentioned, is technically our product, our PDP pages, our category pages, our collection pages, our blogs, our content pieces, even our policies. Do we really have updated our policies in the system? All those are compatible enough so that we are easily able to discover. Like we have to phase it that way. And then uh, every website right now is using their own way uh, to ensure that there's a quick buying experience, and all that is also part of agentic commerce. So it's not just about, as a consumer, whether we are going to search or not. It is about that things are changing on the other side. Like even as a search engine, you even if you write that I'm looking for maybe XYZ, they will give you 100 choices to pick up from, and then you have started having a conversation from there. So it's not about whether we are ready to it is just that the other side is already ready, so we just have to move with it.
No, I agree. So one part of it, in terms of, yes, we are ready for the conversational part. Are we ready for the transactional part? Are we ready to say, okay, go ahead, agent, purchase on my behalf? Or rather, we are saying, go agent, discover on my behalf.
So in that case, I would say there are still 1 or 2% of people as a consumer who are ready for this, who have ensured that they have created their agents in a secured way. Because see, you need to understand, as a if as a consumer I am going to the transactional side, I have to be very sure of how safe that transaction is. And if I am someone who is not coming from a technical background, I might be very hesitant on uh, making that level of conversation. So when it's about transactional, it is also about, the agents which the website is using or the AIs are using, how are they authorized? Are they secured purchases or not? Because that's something where humans are right now hesitant on. Once that becomes normalized, then I don't think so it will be a problem.
Yeah, exactly where I was coming on that trust part, right? Are we trusting? Yes, Parth.
Yes, I think so. From the consumer's point of view, it's going to be uh, we'll only see a shift when the payment uh, the payment gateway platforms, whether we specifically take example of global, it's Stripe, Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, and if we specifically take example of India, it's Razorpay, PayUmoney, the Beam UPI. So when the delta of convenience will kind of uh, will be huge. For example, adding your details onto a platform where uh, you have to put in your details, and there are chances of it getting kind of leaked into a lot of dark web and stuff like that. So when there's a convenience, and for example, if it's going to be implemented in India, there'll be a lot of guardrails that, hey, only purchases up to maybe 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. So it will have a lot of guardrails, thresholds. Only those transactions will be auto approved. Rest of the transactions, India will still require an OTP for sure. Um, and only the convenience part will kind of go ahead and um, make the behavioral shift from the consumer's standpoint. Apart from that, I cannot recall the name right now, but I read a tweet last to last week. Someone from India was raised good series pre-seed funding, and they're building a solution um, where there's a layer between payment and this agentic commerce where they're going to go ahead and identify it if that payment was approved by a human or not, and the whole uh, policy around refunds and returns and whatnot. I'm trying to find the name. If I can, I'll share it. But yeah, so it's going like this whole is creating a whole new space, whole new category for payment solutions. Fintech startups can go ahead and build a whole solution around this agentic commerce payment solution. So yeah, we all have to adapt to it, and specifically who is running shopping platforms online, D2C brands and whatnot.
Of the entire answer, I like that part when you just said India will still need an OTP.
I just want to add, like, I don't know if you people are aware of Visa and Microsoft, and sorry, Mastercard, Microsoft. They already have, like, they're already building agent payment infrastructure where they are where authorization, like if an age like where they are basically creating an authorization around agents, tokenization, transparency, and verifiable customer intent. So they, like Visa and Mastercard, are already building this kind of infrastructure in their spaces.
No, absolutely. I'm sure, say, 10 years back, or probably little older than that, all of us used to be very about, say, putting our home address on e-commerce portals because you don't know what can happen. Will your home address, etc., get even your phone numbers, right? So we got used to it because there was, uh, like Parth mentioned, an ease uh, through which you can do the transaction, etc. So probably, yeah, the future is where agentic commerce or agents will transact on behalf, definitely with some guardrails, or probably the guardrails will also come later on after a few people have been swindled, etc. But interesting conversation. We move on the other side now in terms of the for a brand, what could be the tech infra from an SEO point of view? Because uh, you need a dev team which can understand or which can do agentic commerce or which can build agents. Some things which Vijay just alluded to in terms of web MCP, etc. Uh, will it be a return to very high grade of technical SEO and the age of, say, probably on page SEO would be gone because a lot of stuff would be tech driven? Is that a reality that we should also be aware of? And I don't mean any disrespect to on page SEO, guys, okay?
Yeah. Um, I think so. There is, so it's not going to be a very difficult or a kind of a whole new learning curve thing. But for anyone running a shopping or a commerce business, e- e-commerce business, so what they'll have to go ahead and do. Um, so there is universal commerce protocol, there is agentic commerce protocol, and then there is AP2, which is Agent Payments Protocol. So all of this will come into the picture, and uh, it's all about how you optimize your product feeds. So until now, we have been optimizing product feeds for Google Merchant Center, but now we'll have to go ahead and optimize for these respective AI platforms to be able to go ahead and kind of be discoverable. So I think so the on page will remain on page. I think so it will just take a new form, new shape of kind of approach to kind of go ahead and optimize it. That's about it. But I think so with AI on page is not going to be the same ever again. I think so. Uh, but yeah, if anyone else have any other thoughts to add.
See, I mean, I might, I might have a different perspective because I was like earlier what I was hinting on was in this whole agentic commerce, or rather the way we are shifting, the first two steps, which is like becoming discoverable and understandable, uh, technically needs on page, because you will be discoverable only if your content is something which is easily discovered by agents and discovered by algorithms, and they are and yes, on page and technical right now is having very thin line, but some aspects of technical and on page are will be needed to ensure, yeah, yeah, that first, because so I'll tell you, there's a layer of this agentic commerce. One is like initially you have to be discoverable, then you have to be understandable. Like agent has to understand you. Then there has to be comparable. Like your product needs to be compared by others because agents will obviously give the responses. Then it comes credibility, which is authority. Then we also need to understand that the biggest problem pain point of e-commerce is also the stock availability. A lot of time inventory management is a huge task. How are you ensuring that, like if an agent is taking an order, whether your inventory is there or not, that has to be uh, taken into consideration. Then comes transactional, and then last, of course, it's about policy. So this is a layer which needs to be worked on when you're working on agent-based commerce picture. And on the first four aspect, the AI will still be there because you will be discoverable with the content, you will be understandable with the content, you will be comparable with the content, and you will be credible, or you will create the authority with the content in the on page.
Super. Vijay, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, like as you know, like Google has also introduced AI capabilities in US, and as Isa mentioned, it work exactly the same. For example, and I got the access. So if you go to AI mode and if you have access, you can try something like, hey, on next Friday, there is my kid's birthday, and I want to host a party for max 8 people. So help me get my reservation done. If you write something like that, how it will work here, your local GMB will work. Like Agentic will go and check which type of restaurant will open from the mentioned time. For example, evening to something like that, and then go and check, compare few GMBs where they will actually go and compare the reviews for birthday parties and accommodation XYZ. And uh, adding to the few more points, when I was part at all events, Google is also planning to add direct Google payment. I mean Google Pay, and it's also closely working with Ticketmaster because that's why they reintroduce event inventory system. So as Ticketmaster is very used platform, if someone is already know who is Ticketmaster, they can directly purchase. Okay, I was searching something things to do near me. There is some big concerts happening somewhere in some big city, let's say Las Vegas. I will directly ask, AI mode, and AI mode can help me book the ticket on my behalf because I already saved all my information. I mean, Google Pay or my credit card. So, like, this is part of some meeting with Google, and they are planning to introduce this, but I don't know when, in 2026 or 2027. We can't say anything, but that's the vision. Yeah.
Super, super. Anyone else wants to add? Because I just have 1 more minute. So now is your chance to speak, ask anything.
Um, I just wanted to add one point which I've been thinking a lot. Um, it's a little off to our topic, but at the end of the day, the creative thinking behind any campaign, whether we are doing an SEO campaign or so, everyone is kind of trying to adapt to AI, building their own workflows. But at the end of the day, you and your competitors in your particular category, uh, probably a year down the line or 2 years down the line max, everyone will be proficient using the best available AI model out there. And if you think about it, everyone will be using the same intelligence, and it's going to be a common denominator for everyone's system. So I think so. Um, with Claude Fable being Claude Fable 5 model, it was kind of restricted for a couple of weeks because of an intervention by the US government. Everyone started finding solution with respect to what local models can they set up. So I've seen this particular trend in last couple of weeks while I'm on the internet. um, Bigger enterprises, they have started building their own, obviously they have enough money and deep pockets to go ahead and build their own local models and systems where they have control over their data, control over their intelligence. And so that's where it's going to differentiate a particular campaign, whether it's SEO, social influencer, because at the end of the day, marketing has been all about creativity, the approach that you take uh, to design your campaign. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting times ahead. Which brand kind of goes ahead and leverages and then make sure that they have their own intelligence layer weaved into their own system. So let's see how it goes.
All right. So before I let any of you intelligent people leave, last one thought from each of you in terms of what should someone start doing tomorrow morning? Yeah, please go ahead. Whoever wants to go ahead, please. One thing that people should start doing tomorrow morning. Parth?
Um, One thing that keeps coming back to me is the system that's working for me that I've been building for my own workflows. Um, I've been improving it week over week, month over month since last 5 months. Uh, but the feedback that I'm giving to my system, and I can see the output is improving, and it's kind of getting more and more efficient. But I still don't know what is it learning in the back end, because the data that I'm providing to my system. So I just kind of want to go ahead and get control of uh, what feedback I'm giving to my system, and what are the changes and improvements. Because at the end of the day, we are renting our knowledge, our creative thinking to a cloud based AI platform system, and it's obviously helping us to be more efficient. But at the end of the day, how do we go ahead and get control of that? And I think so the answer is building everything on a local model. But yeah, this keeps on coming across. So yeah, I'm curious what other folks here on the panel think about it.
Right.
Okay, so if I have to just give what exactly someone should do tomorrow morning, if we're just talking from the e-commerce standpoint, because that's the major topic from the commerce background, I would say we, like, as a brand, if you're a brand owner, I would say that, like, what path you're saying is of course something which is way ahead, but right now if you're at a very early stage, or a place where you have not even thought of agentic commerce or anything, you, at this point of time, you need to start auditing your brand, that where you are. So the funnel which I told, I would repeat it for if anyone wants to know. That's the places where a person, as a brand, we need to audit our brand, that whether we are discoverable, whether we are understandable, whether we are comparable, whether we are credible, whether we are available, and whether our transactional system is in line. And in the last is all our accountability checkpoints are there on the website or not.
Fantastic, Anisha. I'm asking you in public this one, all right? Or rather, this is a request from me. We need a blog on SEO talkers on this from you, because that was a lovely point. The entire flow that you mentioned. So
Yeah,
humble.
I'll check. I'll check.
Yeah. All right. KU, Anirudh, Vijay, Shweta. Last one point. What should you start doing tomorrow morning?
We'll go and make everything universal. I already cracked this. So assume you are like doing something on Claude, and suddenly you need to share a report to your boss, but you don't have any, as you are already running out of tokens for your week. How can you make sure you complete your report? So that's why your all the capabilities, your MCP, your report, like anything you are working on cloud can be directly accessible by integrity or cursor, or might be codex CLI desktop. And like, not to mention anything like if you are using CLI or desktop version. And I already fixed this. So why? Because like sometimes some boring tasks can be done freely by some free models available on integrity, using same knowledge, same projects, same setup. So that's why my takeaway to all the people here, to try and figure out how we can make all the like connection or all the skills to universal. So if I'm running some MCP on Codex, it can be also accessible by any LLMs like Claude or CLI, anything. This is just in, but you can try and get back to like ping me if you need any help. You will. So that's my.
Fantastic point by Vijay. Just adding it here. Please do check out Open Router Fusion model, where you just add credits and you can use multi-model.
And Codex recently added, receipt twice. So if you're running out of some tokens, you can like just go and use another Google login and just hit a receipt button. That's it, and do something which is just require one Google login. That's it.
Perfect. विजय आंसर इज प्रभु. इसके लिए तो आपके साथ वेबिनार कर रहे हैं हम लोग. So the next webinar is with Vijay, and you know the topic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, Anirudh, I know you are going over time, but I just want some directions. Yes, Shweta, please.
Yeah, if I have to do this, I will go back to my website and see what bots are actually doing, what content they are scraping, and what actually they are going around on my website. And then I totally agree with Disha. I will start with my on page optimization, fix my FAQs, policy, structure data, product descriptions, or the pricing or reviews. And because based on that only AI model works, and they scrape the data and go back and work on what the query is asking for. So yes, I will do a research on my website of how they are working on my website and how they are crawling on my website.
Perfect, thank you. And that's the reason we have this webinars from you on Fridays, right? All right, for everyone who wants to nominate a female on the SEO Talk Women chapter on WhatsApp, do reach out to Shweta. She manages that and she does those lovely webinars on Friday evenings, all done by her, topic chosen by her. And yeah, Isha has been a generous participant, sharing her thoughts also. So thank you, girls. I wouldn't say ladies, but thank you, girls. Lovely to see that conversation. Lovely start to that entire community also. Before I end, Anirudh, you haven't spoken so far, and you are the last one.
Nothing unique from my side. Actually, the dependency on user-generated content is increasing. So what I have observed is brands like No Broker are implementing content avenues like their own forum, just like the Reddit, and they have profile karma and the similar system kind of things. So yes, reviews, testimonials, and forums are having more and more weightage in today's era. So of course, apart from tech infra or the content, we must need to integrate or add content avenues like forums, or the sources from more and more content can be fetched.
Absolutely, and I missed it, KU. You were also around, so yeah, I cannot leave without asking you to.
Yeah, hello, Malawi Padre. So I've been using Gemini CLI for 1 2 months, like experiment in this means how can I use this Gemini CLI in the soon and do the stuffs also. Uh, I need to set forum about so in our company we are in-house we are building such forums for the our website. So we can get more users reviews from the users.
All right, perfect, and thank you so much. Lovely end to the conversation, and yeah, see you around on the next one with a brand new topic.